The Unit 4 test review, number 15. So we're going to graph in inequalities here. In this case, we got to get the y by itself. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. We get negative y is less than or equal to negative 3x plus 2. Divide everything by negative 1. Be very careful here and realize I have to switch the inequality sign when I do that. Okay. And then I'll graph. And I have a y-intercept of negative 2. I have a slope of 3 over 1. 1, 2, 3 over 1. Okay. And I'll draw my line here. Okay. Now I knew it was a solid line because I had the or equal to, so I went ahead and drew a solid line. Now I have to shade. And looking at it, there's a couple different ways you could plug in the point 0, 0 and see if it comes out true. In this case it would. But I always tell them, if it's in y equals mx plus b, or an equivalent of that, and the y is bigger, you shade above the line. So I would shade up here. Okay. Number 16, same thing, I have to solve for y. So I'll subtract 2x to both sides. I'll get negative 3y is greater than negative 2x plus 6. I'll divide by negative 3. Once again, I am dividing by a negative, so I have to flip the inequality sign. A negative divided by a negative is a positive, and it gives me negative 2. So in this case, I go to negative 2. Then I go up 2 over 3, 1, 2, 3 for my slope. This doesn't have an or equal to, so this one is a dashed or dotted line. Points on the line are not considered part of the solution set. Okay. And then I go, the y's are less than, so I would shade below. So I would shade below. Number 17 says a purse contains a total of 40 nickels and dimes. If the total value is $3.25, find out how many of each coin is in the purse. So I've got two things. I've got something to do with just the number of coins, just pieces of metal. So that's going to be nickels. If I take all the nickels and I add up all the dimes, I get 40 coins, not talking about their value of money. Then I have another equation that talks about the actual dollar amount they're worth, and that's the $3.25. So nickels, okay, are 10 cents. So we got to do 0.10 n. Dimes, oh, sorry, I got that backwards, didn't I? Nickels, sorry, are worth 5. 0.05, that's the tricky part. 0.05. Dimes are 10 cents. And I'm doing this in dollars, that's why I have to do it in decimals, and it equals 3.25. Okay, so I can just clean that up a bit if I can. 0.05. Okay, so now this is just going to be a system of equations. To make my life easier, I'm going to get rid of the decimals. So basically, I'm going to turn everything into pennies. So I got to multiply everything by 100 because I got to move everything 2 spaces. Okay, so technically I'm going to multiply this by 100. So rewriting what I've got n plus d equals 40, and then I get 5n plus 10d equals 325. I'm going to use elimination for this, so it doesn't matter which one I get rid of. So I'm going to go ahead and just get do a positive and negative n. Okay, so now kind of show what I got here on my different equations. So I get negative 5n minus 5d equals negative 200 all over 5n plus 10d equals 325. Those cross out and I get 5d equals a positive 125 divided by 5. Okay, so 125 divided by 5 is 25. So d equals 25. So I have 25 dimes. Okay. The question is how many nickels do I have? So I gotta go back and plug in. I'll plug into this one. So I'll say n plus 25 equals 40. Subtract 25 to both sides, and n equals 15. So I've got, those are my two answers. Okay. So this next question, it's the same kind of thing, just different values. So we've got dimes and nickels again, but they add up to something different, and there's a different total number of coins. So let's go a little quicker this time, but we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to say n plus d equals 60. 0.05 n plus 0.01 d, okay, equals 5.20. Okay, I'll multiply everything by 100 again, so I'm going to get n plus d equals 60. And I'm going to get 5n plus 10d equals 520. Okay. And then I'll go ahead and use elimination again. But I'll go ahead and get rid of the d's this time, or the dimes. So I'll multiply by negative 10. So I get negative 10 minus negative 10 again, negative 600. And then I get 5n plus 10d equals 520. So these cross off, and I get negative 5n equals negative 80. All right. I think that's about 16. Yeah. N equals positive 16. So I have 16 nickels. So 16 nickels plus the dimes. Subtract 16 to both sides. Alright. And that's 44 dimes. Alright. Number 19. So for a party, you can spend no more than $100 on food. If hot dogs cost $2 and burgers cost $4, write an equation to model the situation. Okay, so I need to write an equation. So basically, $2 times the hot dogs plus $4 times the burgers, and that has to do with the $100. So the question is, I cannot spend more, okay, than 100. So whatever I plug in here, they have to be smaller than 100. All right, they have to be smaller than 100. Okay. And so what's kind of weird here is I don't really have an x and a y, but I just got to pick basically a way to do this. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make this my hot dogs, and I'm going to make this my burgers. Okay. And so if burgers are my y-axis, I need to solve for those ones. So I'm going to subtract 2d to both sides, and I'm going to get 4b is less than negative 2d plus 100. I'm going to divide everything by 4, and b is less than negative a half d plus 25. Okay. So I'm going to try to model this best I can. It's hard to fit all these when I got a bigger number like that. I got 25. So I'm going to go up by, let me see how many spaces I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So I'll make each one of these worth 2. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30. Okay. And I'll just go ahead and make all of these worth 1s down here. So now I'm going to have a y-intercept of 25. So there's 25, 22, 24. So about halfway, there's my y-intercept. I got to go down 1. Okay. So I'm going to go to about right there and over 2 spaces. Okay. And I cannot hit that line, so this has got to be a dotted line. And everything I spend has to be less than that total. So it's going to look like that. Okay. 2 pizzas and 3 sodas cost $22. So 2 pizzas plus 3 sodas equals $22. 3 pizzas plus 5 sodas equals $34. So you can see I can create a system here pretty quickly. This one I'm probably going to use elimination, so I'm going to have to multiply both top and bottom here. So what I'm going to go ahead and do here is, I don't know, I'll just go ahead and get rid of the p's. So I'm going to go with the positive and the -6. And so I'm looking at -6p minus 9s equals -66. Down here I'm looking at 6p plus 10s equals 68. Okay, so these cross out and I get s equals 2. So a soda cost looks like $2. Okay, then to find a pizza, I'll plug it into one of these. So 2 times p plus 3 times 2 equals 22. And then I get 2p plus 6 equals 22. Subtract 6 to both sides. 2p equals 16 divided by 2, and p equals 8.